The idea of a taste challenge is a simple idea. How you make it special is actually what matters.
When they presented this, there was, holy shit, this is fantastic.
The one thing we want people to do after watching this is just question their preconceptions, their biases, the status quo, essentially.
Immediately when the visual of the bear blindfolded with 2 cans on the table came up, we all knew that this was magic.
It's strategically simple. I think it's beautifully laid out. I think the viewer gets it immediately.
It was late at night, I was texting with my team, and I'm like, yeah, I don't like that, but there's something with that, something I love. And you know it when it's special.
I would say Pepsi is so back.
Pepsi, their ad this year features a soda-loving polar bear doing a blind taste test.
What's amazing about the Super Bowl is you get this one moment in time to reach, 120, 150 million people. And, if you look at what we've been doing over the past year with the Pepsi Taste Challenge, it was a bit of a no-brainer in terms of using the Super Bowl as a stage to really celebrate the taste of Pepsi Zero Sugar. But then it came down the hard part. How do you do that in a really fun, creative way?
So the Taste Challenge actually started 50 years ago in 1975, where consumers would do a blind taste test with Coke and Pepsi, and then they would just simply tell us which one tastes better.
All across this country, people took the Pepsi Challenge, and Pepsi won.
The legacy of the Pepsi Challenge is real. The impact and the success of it is well documented, the subject of many books, documentaries, movies, business cases, and that is the reality still today.
Look, I think where the category is going right now, Zero Sugar is growing by mid double digits. It's driving all of the growth within carbonated soft drinks. And I think the point here is that we've got a preferred product that consumers are voting with all the time. And I think just making sure that we're evangelizing that, bringing that to the most people possible through a very simple mechanic is what makes it so special.
We like to think about this as that it's not a cola war, it's about cola facts. So knowing that 2/3 of America prefers PZS, we really used that as our backup into the brief and asked BBDO to come back with a creative idea, really bringing that to life.
Day 0, step 1 is you find out we're getting a brief for the Super Bowl. The first thing you do is probably freak out a bit. Step 2 is you start thinking of ideas.
I think there's 2 big parts of that initial phase is getting really crystal clear on the brief. And that's a lot of collective decision making. And then the actual creative concepting phase is literally spaghetti everywhere.
The Super Bowl is the one time a year you can look at an idea and be like, yeah, it's answering the brief, but is it gonna be fucking huge? Are people gonna love it? Are they gonna laugh at it? Are they gonna talk about it? It's kind of like you experience all the emotions in a Super Bowl war room. It's stressful, it's hilarious. You'll never laugh harder, I think, than in a Super Bowl war room, but you'll also never feel more pressure.
Any creative pitch, especially when it's on Super Bowl, you're definitely on the edge of your seat. You're rooting for whoever your creative partner is, BBDO in this case, please crush. I want to fall in love. But when they presented this, there was, LOL in the room immediately. Holy shit, this is fantastic.
It's a pretty simple elevator pitch. It's what happens when the polar bear takes the Pepsi challenge and realizes he prefers Pepsi.
We had to take that and sell that within the organization, though, because it's obviously a bold, big swing, if you will. So we had to make sure that the right leaders, the right functional partners were brought along, PR, legal, trademark, insights, but we all really held hands that we were ready to take that big swing and embrace that challenger mindset.
Production's always crazy, but particularly for Super Bowl, because it goes from this what if on paper, and then the next thing you know, you're flying 17 hours to the other side of the world to shoot with Taika Waititi, with stand-in polar bears.
I think the hardest thing when you shoot a real life film with CGI is you never know until like very close to the end. When you saw it, and you probably have seen the guy with the hood, you see that, you're like, okay, I can kind of, I'll try to get there. And those are the things, you don't like to show your executives that stuff because then they lose the whole idea. But then once it starts to come alive, once we started seeing models, once we started seeing it for real, it just kind of brings it to life. It makes it human. It makes it personable.
So here's our prototype mock-up head. On the fur, we've got three different kinds of fur on the head.
It's really, really impressive to watch the artists at the frame store work with Taika's team at Hungry Man. The light on the fur needs to look right. The way the bear sits on the couch, the cushions have to bend in a certain way, and that couch is real, right? When it broke, we broke it live. There are little things like that where you appreciate the craft and the artistry behind it. It's awesome to watch.
The first time we saw the CGI, it was incredible. Our amazing partners at Frame Store are absolute artists when it comes to CGI. A ton of human craft goes into that. And then the first time we saw the bear costume, we were all just taken aback that it's like standing in front of us. It's 7 to 8 feet tall. And the actor that's portraying it is just bringing such a great job and personality to life.
It can be very challenging to predict if a Super Bowl ad is going to do well. However, our partners in this content, System 1, can actually test ads with the Test Your Ads platform to predict how ads will perform on long-term market share and profit gain, measured by emotional response. They also predict short-term sales lift and strength of branding. And with their Test Your Ad competitive edge database, brands and agencies can unlock emotion-based insights from 100,000 plus ads to compare and benchmark creative against their peers and better inform how creative is developed and which ads get the most media investment. Take Pepsi's "Pizza Tastes Better with a Pepsi" ad from last year. In System 1's testing, it secured a high level of brand recognition and elicited lots of positive emotion in viewers, predicting strong long-term market share. If you want to unlock the power of System 1 for your advertising, go check them out.
It's always stressful going in to see the first edit, but it's such a relief when you see the first version and you realize, like, not only is this going to work, but it's going to be great.
We knew we had something special in the animatic phase, and so you were playing with house money and you just didn't want to mess it up. But this one, when you saw it come together, you realized this really could be special. You never know how folks are going to react, but there is no better feeling before something like this drops, knowing you have it in your pocket.
It feels so exciting. It feels like, oh my God, we created magic.
I mean, immediately when the spot dropped, we started just getting an influx of, we want to activate with the polar bear here and here and here, and there's a request from Mexico, and Global wants to do this. So it was almost overwhelming at first because everybody wanted to be part of the campaign and activate with the polar bear, which was awesome. Like, that is such a great sign of success.
We have a beautiful spot for sure. But I'm even more excited about everything else that we have in store for Super Bowl week, but for the rest of the calendar year and the years to come. And very, very excited about that, yeah.
What I love about this is the longevity I think this campaign is going to have. And I think it breaks through in culture, but it's something that's going to be sustainable. It's going to allow us to really put put the pedal on the gas for us. So it's not just a one and done. I think we've been very consistent over the last year about really driving the taste bona fides that Pepsi Zero Sugar has. This is a double down for us, and there's going to be more to come.
I don't get jitters when we drop a spot like this. I get proud. I'm proud of my team. I'm proud of what we've done with our partners at BBDO and our content studio that produced it. I'm proud of everyone that were part of this, from comms to insights to the creative teams. Like, it is super special. Ultimately, the engagement with the brand, now in a new and interesting way to celebrate Pepsi Zero Sugar, that's that moment that you realize that little idea of a bear has turned into something even bigger.
You're not the only one. This can be heavy. me about your mother.
I want to break free.